Hi, and welcome to another edition of Remy Reviews. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. Also, why not join us on Facebook and Twitter. Now that that's done, let's have a look at Troll Hunter. So Troll Hunter is a movie about a group of students who investigate a series of mysterious bear killings, but then learn that there are much more dangerous things going on. They then start to follow a mysterious hunter, learning that he's in fact a troll hunter. The story is fairly straightforward, but it does help the film. One thing that is quite annoying though is the characters are rather bland. To be honest, I can't even remember any of their names. The only one who comes close to making an impression is Hans, the troll hunter, who's essentially a badass in a leather hat. He's probably the highlight of the movie. He actually makes the movie interesting to watch, and I'd love to see more of him. Suspense and tension in the film is also done really well. There are a couple of moments where you're just on the edge of your seat waiting for something to happen, or you're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of stuff. And even the lead up to the trolls, you don't see a lot of trolls in this movie, but when you do see them, it's well worth the payoff because you've been waiting to see them for so long now, and you've been with the characters as they're trying to hunt them down, that the payoff is just epic. That being said though, one thing that does let the movie down a little bit is the ending. There was a great conflict right at the end, then just the characters sort of went off and did things that were really, it didn't make sense. So even though the ending was a little bit weak sauce, because of Hans, because of the hunt, and because of the suspense that's built, you're gonna forgive it. It's not that big an issue. I just would have liked to have seen a little bit more effort put into how they finish this film off. Now the found footage thing really is kind of hit and miss with me, but in this film it does work. It works better than it did in say Cloverfield. I didn't really like Cloverfield, but I liked Troll Hunter. It's really easy to compare this film to Blair Witch Project, obviously because of the found footage thing, but I'll be honest here, Troll Hunter definitely sets the scene and the feel and the fantasy much better than Blair Witch ever did. Troll Hunter makes it feel like a dark fantasy fairy tale movie, whereas Blair Witch feels like a student film bad horror. And that's just how it is. Found footage for Troll Hunter works perfectly. On the fairy tale thing, it really does tie into a lot of classic folklore. Billy Goat's Gruff is one of my favourite stories as a kid, and there's even references to that. I'm not Norwegian though, and I think if I was, I'd get a lot more cultural references that are in this film. So that's something I'm going to have to look into, because I want to watch this again, but I want a bit more of a cultural background on it. This movie just sucks you in. It really makes you go on this wicked journey. And quite frankly, I'd like to see more of it. I would like to see a sequel or a prequel or something involving Hans, maybe even one of the other characters, where we really explore this world of trolls in the hills, because you see this trolls so briefly. I want to see more of that. But then again, it's good that you don't see a lot of it, because oversaturation of the really cool stuff would probably kill the movie. But I just really want to see more of this flick. I really enjoyed the fantasy aspect of it, and I want more. So, I mean, if a movie leaves you wanting more, it's got to be doing something right. The camera work is handheld and shaky, but that's what they were going for, so they pulled that off perfectly. One thing though, the night vision elements are very hit and miss. Some of them look like it's just daylight with a green filter added on it. Sometimes the same camera will switch from normal vision to night vision and then back to normal vision, and you don't see the switch thing, and it's not really explained why it's doing that. And that was just a visual thing that got annoying. The night vision looks great. It enhances the fear, and there are a couple of moments where there are reveals using the night vision. I wouldn't take that away from it at all. It's just they've got a one camera situation here, and they're just switching between night vision and normal vision, and logically it doesn't make sense why you'd be doing that. You would either have it on night vision all the time, or you'd have it on the normal setting all the time, do you know what I mean? So it just, that switching was very strange. And also on the camera, like one camera setups are great, but sometimes a second camera will just suddenly appear and they'll cut to that and then they'll cut back to this original camera just to get a different angle. Now I can understand wanting to get a different angle, but if you're going to have just one camera, stick to one camera. That really took away from the found footage thing for me when I saw that second camera in there. And it's only, towards the end where they start doing that, but it's just one thing that took me out of that mode of trying to believe that this is a found footage film. The visual effects, though, I have to say, are excellent. They really are quite cool. The trolls kind of look like old paintings old children's book paintings, which is I think what they were referencing when they did it. The noses in particular are really quite large and protruberous, and they look like Muppets with sort of Where the Wild Things Are type look. One thing though, they're not consistent. Some of the trolls look absolutely brilliant. They look like the latest cutting edge visual effects. Others look like they were done by a second year animation student. And that's just my opinion. It's just that the texturing doesn't quite match up to what we've seen previously. So the trolls look great, but they're not all of the same quality. The final troll though, the main troll, is perfect. It's absolutely awesome. It really made me feel like I was watching the movie of Shadow of the Colossus, which is one of my favorite games. So I'm all for getting sucked into that world again. Now, when this film came out, apparently the rights were bought for an American remake. Look, if that happens, I don't think it's going to be as successful as this one. This is really a Norwegian film. It screams of Norwegian culture and references the folklore, and the countryside is perfect for it. I don't think a remake in any other country is going to be able to do as good a job of capturing that sense of fantasy that this film has. So look, if they do make one, I mean, I'm sure it will get more audiences, because I know a lot of people don't like to watch a movie with subtitles. And that's a shame, because this movie is perfect. It doesn't need a remake. It's perfectly fine as it is. If anything, what it needs is a sequel, so we can see more of these trolls and we can see this world again. Troll Hunter isn't for everyone, but I can guarantee you're going to have a really nice time here. The fantasy is exactly what you want with this movie, and you get it. There are even a couple of moments of comedy, so definitely check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on Facebook and Twitter, and also why not hang around and watch the full trailer. Until next time, see you later.
Oh.